Hey everyone, happy Testimony Tuesday. It's a little late because it's been a day. I'm literally sitting outside the gym right now because, again, it's been a day. I think they close in like 40 minutes, but it's okay. I'm going to get it all done. We're still going to get it done. So, yeah, let's get into the story. So I'm going to tell you how I met my boyfriend. It's going to be like a 3-part series. But before I tell you how I met him, I got to take y'all back a little bit. So before him, I was in like a 2-year situationship. And honestly, it just felt like a cycle. We were just going around and around. In the beginning, of course, he told me what I wanted to hear, that he wanted a long-term relationship, just not quite yet. He had just came out of something and he didn't want to rush things. So I was like, okay, I can be patient. But during those 2 years, I really found that I was growing tremendously in my faith. And when you're in a real relationship with God, things about you start to change. Your perspective, your choices, and even your boundaries. So I minister to him, and sometimes he'd get curious, but most of the time it was more doubt. And I think he believed in God, but he was like right on the edge of being agnostic, which I do think God still worked through that situation through me, but he really didn't like the changes he was seeing in me when it came to our relationship. So when I told him I wanted to be abstinent, or when I told him I decided to get baptized, I literally remember his response was like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And I was like, well, yeah, get baptized. I'm locked in with God. We're not switching up on that. But in his mind, it was like, okay, you go to church, you praying, but now this is taking it too far. So that's when I really started to see like, okay, maybe this isn't going to work. But I loved him so much, and I had been praying for his salvation. I've been praying that God would make him the husband that I needed him to be, and that he would come around. I never forget, y'all, I was driving home after serving at church, and there were so many people hugging me and like telling me they love me. And I literally got in the car like, okay, God, if it works here, like, why can't this work? Like, I don't understand. I'm fasting, I'm praying, like, God, can you fix it? And I literally heard him whisper, because I love you too much. So that was like the beginning of my breaking. And about 2 weeks before I actually met my now boyfriend, I was finally at my last straw. I told him, look, I can't stay in this space of confusion. Either we're going to be fully together or we need to separate because I'm going to date other people. He asked for some time. I was like, I'm going to think about it. But eventually he came back and said, you really need to find someone who wants the same thing as you. And it was painful. We still tried to talk and be friends, but in my heart, I opened the door and was like, okay, maybe this isn't it. And God said, all right, say less. And so stay tuned for part 2, and you'll see how I met my boyfriend.